Hey guys, today we're going to start with the Humminbird Onix range. As you can see on the screen, first time setup. So we're really going to be concentrating on the initial setup that you need to do when you first boot your Humminbird Onix up for the first time. So we'll just wait for that to load, and then we'll take you through the steps that you need to follow. Okay, so it's loaded. As you can see, first time setup. We're going to click on begin manual setup. Now you can either do that by touchscreen or by your toggle. 12-hour time, that's what I like personally. It also has the options of 24 and 12, so I'm going to leave it at 12 for now. We're going to go into local time now. We want to set that to Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so we're going to click on Sydney. Now when Sydney are on daylight savings, there is an option, if I go back into that, up the top of daylight savings, so you can add an hour there, so that's not an issue. Date format, okay, we want that in day, month and year. There are a few other options there if you would prefer that. As we go into units, you want to set that up how you prefer it, okay? So distance for me, I like in kilometers. Distance in short, okay? Meters is probably the best option for that. Temperature, degrees Celsius. Depth, I personally work in feet, so I'm going to set that to feet. Okay, hit the back button. Speed, kilometers per hour. Wind speed, meters per second. And altitude in meters. Now those ones, you're probably not going to need to change that often at all. Hit the back button, and now we're going to hit the arrow to take us to the next menu. Okay, sonar. This is an important one. If you have a side imaging unit, you want 2D side imaging and down imaging. If you don't have a side imaging unit, you're not going to have a side imaging transducer, obviously, so you're not going to have side imaging ticked. Okay, we're going to have that ticked for us today. And 2D frequency, okay, we want a 50 to 200 kilohertz transducer. That's the one you get standard with your Humminbird Onix. Side imaging frequency, you always get a 450 and 800 kilohertz transducer with your Humminbird Onix. So we're going to select that one today. Then we're going to go down to temp sonar. We want that on. Obviously you get a temperature gauge with your Onix. Water type is an important one. We want that. I normally fish salt water and shallow, so we're going to have that ticked. If you're going to be fishing deep water, you're going to want salt water ticked. Again, if you're going to be fishing impoundments and a lot of fresh water, you're going to have fresh water ticked. So let's move on from that. Chart, okay. In the Humminbird range, you can run CMAP, you can run Navionics as well. I run Navionics, so that's what I'm gonna have selected. Now this one, the boat icon, obviously generic and white. The engines and tanks, that comes down if you've got NEMA 2000, which we'll touch on in a later video, but for today we don't really need to worry about the engine size and the tanks. Vehicle dimensions, obviously you want a safe depth there that you can run to. It's got a safe beam and a safe height too. We won't worry about that either. Once you've done all that, hit confirm, and that is your initial setup done.